on a side note, you know, during the times I drink 40s, the biggest problem with having to drink a 40 or just liquor is the fact that your stomach gets full. And that's the whole thing, is you just don't want to do it. I mean, maybe that's just the epitome of laziness, is wanting to have the feeling but not wanting to consume the liquor. It's just it just happens to be the whole thing, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm just running. I mean, there's just so much different shit that goes on, you know. It's just, times are changing. This is the main thing I wanted to talk about, is I've been listening to YouTubers, and you know, I've probably gotten the second or third person who's told me YouTube, the adpocalypse, and all this different content creator change, the stuff that PewDiePie said about Disney and they got pissed off, all the criticism, the jokes that he made, and everything else that went on, how YouTube is becoming, you know, tight-lipped, and, or not tight-lipped, but they're becoming sticklers for this sort of shit. You know, they're starting to really crack down on the content and are pulling advertisements on stuff. Like, seeing one of these is probably something that's going to get my video taken away. Maybe not deleted or removed, but you know, it's not going to be on page 1 of something that, if I put this with Mario, they're going to say, oh, well, you can't have Mario and alcohol. So I don't know. What I'm basically trying to do with this is just be more relatable, more down to earth, you know, be more Clark Kent than Superman. You know, if Clark Kent was an actual identity and every day he wasn't worried about saving the world, I'm pretty sure he'd want to, you know, get a tall, cool one with a few friends. I mean, watch football, because otherwise people are going to think he's a freak of nature. You know, this is the whole thing. You know, if I were to cut a fart, something like that, some of these extra things, which I probably could do, I mean, it just makes you down to earth. That's just the whole fucking thing, you know. I don't mind diminishing my celebrity. I know I don't have celebrity to speak of, but you know, the whole fucking thing is, you know, if you want to see me make mistakes, if it's for the sake of entertainment, then why the fuck not? I mean, that's the whole thing. And I think we can basically drink to that. So but this is a serious issue, and that's, you know, more so than the Mario video. That was the main thing I wanted to talk about, was the changing of the guard. And it feels so much different than it would have 4 or 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, with all this new, I mean, everyone's jumping on board to YouTube nowadays. And I've seen some of these people, they say, look, you know, I'm only making 35 cents a month, you know, $1.50. And it's like, I mean, for some of these people who have 3 digits worth of subscribers, you know, that old classic phrase of saying don't quit your day job is just starting to apply that much more evenly. And you know, I can't, you know, the whole fucking thing is I thought about this yesterday. I was getting pretty pissed off, and you know, the whole thing was here's the problem. You know, the world cannot subscribe to 64 million people. I mean, if people like, you know, Frenchie is my roommate, if people say, well, I'm going to subscribe to Acidic Roots and Frenchie Talent, you know, people are going to say, let's subscribe to Acidic Roots and Frenchie Talent. That's a few other people who are working just as hard as me that might not get it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem possible to have in your subscription feed millions of people in it. It would get kind of ridiculous. So that's like the biggest issue at the moment. And, you know, of course, that just leaves, that means somebody is going to have to get the shaft. And as we figure that out, you know, obviously some of my favorites are getting the fuck on with their life, getting jobs, getting serious in a relationship, going to college, doing some of these things that normal people do when they're 30 or 34 or something. And it's like, hey, you know, I don't have time to be getting 20 or 33 views on a video when I could be making, you know, $3,500 a month or more. So that's, I mean, obviously, you know, these people who start off having, you know, a Maserati and then they start making vlogs, yeah, those people probably have it even because everyone has high standards. But for the sheer amount of people who were trained to make, the sheer amount of people who actually had reason to learn some humorous things and understand comedy, it's just disappointing. I don't know, I mean, I like fast cars too, but, you know, fast car doesn't really make me laugh. That's the whole difference. I've seen some of the people at the top, you know, that's the thing, we're getting down the fact that it's being divided into quadrants and eighths, like a pizza or something, you know. If you like the North, you mess with, you know, you mess with this YouTuber. If you like the Northeast, you mess with Jenna Marbles. If you like the Southwest, you mess with, you know, Philip DeFranco. I mean, there's just so many different folks that go around. It's like we're not even cutting evenly into the slices anymore. It's just, I don't know what to think of it. But, you know, naturally, the only thing I can say is, until it reaches a point where YouTube is just completely pointless to even do anything. I mean, if I were to just completely barrel and spiral downward and just have completely god-awful days, I mean, that's about the only thing that's going to make me quit entirely. It just doesn't serve a purpose. There's just too much jealousy. Have you noticed that? Are there too many haters, too much jealousy, too much overconfidence, and our standards are too high? Some of the biggest things that are going on right now, and, you know, there's just really, you know, I think the people who are actually watching this through, that give a shit enough to pay attention to it, I mean, that's just the whole thing. It's something that we have to, I mean, it just makes me wonder how dark of a place YouTube is turning into.